Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amma. If this is your first time seeing me, I do videos on grad school. You are welcome to stay. Please do join the family if you are not. So for today's video, as you may have seen already by the title of this video, we are doing an F1 student visa experience. I have already posted a video on this, on how I went about getting my visa approved, and for today we are getting an extraordinary story on this channel which I don't know, so I'm just going to get to know it as you are going to be knowing this too. So stick along and watch till the end. So guys, let's just get right into today's video. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sammy, for coming on this channel. So I'm just going to let Sammy introduce himself, what he do, and yeah, we just start rolling from that.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sammy. I'm a grad student, master's degree in curriculum and instructions, educational researcher. That is what I'm studying at the Montana State University.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy. So let's just say for you, I know you came to school in the spring semester, just this spring. How has it been for you so far?
So far it's been good because I came to school late and I had to catch up with the things that had been done. So at the beginning or at the initial stages it was quite stressful, but I had to make sure I lift my head above the waters so that I'll be able to maneuver my way through, because grad school can sometimes be very overwhelming. So far I would say it's been good and it's been great. Well,
that's awesome. That's awesome. And once again, welcome to Montana State University. Just for us that have been here for a semester. So now let's talk about your F1 visa interview experience. Now I've heard that there's an interesting story around you getting your visa approved. So today I just want you to tell us how you went about it.
Yeah, getting the visa to the United States of America on my part was very tricky, and it was full of nostalgic moments, if I'll put it that way, because I had to put in all I could in order to secure the visa to this particular place. One thing I would say that getting the admission and the funding is not a sure bet that indeed you would get your visa, but it is binding on you and your preparation at the embassy. That is a serious determinant in your getting of the visa. And my experience is somehow different from others, because I didn't actually go for my visa interview in my own country. I come from Ghana, and I didn't go for my interview in Ghana. I had to travel to another country for my interview. Why did I do so? I did so because getting a date for my interview was very, very stressful. I did all I could, but I couldn't get a favorable date in Ghana. So I had to turn my attention to a neighboring country, that is La Côte d'Ivoire, in order to get a date which was quite closer to my program start date. And even as you are aware, I even applied for an emergency or an expedited service, but I was actually turned down. So I had to take on the regular appointment, which was even beyond my program start date. So yeah, I had to travel all the way from Ghana to La Côte d'Ivoire for my visa interview, all in the quest of pursuing my academic education at Montana State University.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to put in a lot of effort in order to be here, and it was a different experience altogether.
Wow, I've already spoken about the situation happening in Ghana and other neighboring African countries, where getting a regular visa interview dates is like it's not common now. It's like you don't get it. And now we have to stick to emergency requests, and having your emergency request being denied, that's also like another strange thing that I think is like new to me. I know most students that put in the emergency request get approved because you have good reasons to come into the United States, but that's very interesting. So now tell us just a little bit about how it happened and what happened when you went to La Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, I actually set off 2 days before my visa interview at La Cote d'Ivoire so that I would be able to settle in time and prepare very well for my visa interview. So my appointment date was actually the 24th
24th
of January 2022, but I was supposed to have arrived in Bozeman on 17th of January. So my interview date was 1 week beyond my program start date. So I took off from Accra to Elupo, which is about 8 hours journey from Accra. Then you have to also take another bus from Elupo to Abidjan, which in itself is about 5.5 hours journey.
Wow.
So in all, you'd spend about 13.5 hours journey on a bus. So I go to Abidjan, a place called Cocody University. That's where I went to also stay. Then I met a couple of Ghanaians there who also came for the visa interview. We were about 15 Ghanaians at that particular place. We were about 15, all in the name of coming for a visa interview. So I had to travel all the way from Ghana to La Cote d'Ivoire by 13.5 hours drive to La Cote d'Ivoire for my visa interview. And indeed, I would not like to scare anyone, but in getting the visa, it's not an easy thing and it's no joke. Because if you take it lightly, there's no way you are going to get your visa. And you must be able to think on top of your head whilst you are standing in front of the visa officer. You must make sure you have enough information to convince whoever is interviewing you, because your story must be unique. And one thing I always tell people is that don't stick to internet answers, because whatever you are going to say, someone has already said it. So it's not new to the visa officer. But what makes your story different from another person? So you must make sure you bring your A game on and your story. What is your story? Because when you are applying for the school, you had your own reasons for applying. You didn't apply because of the internet answer, but what is your motivation? What is your drive? And what is the reason why you want to pursue that particular program at that particular school? And what is your motive of helping society or your career ambitions with that particular program? So I had these factors in mind and I went for the visa interview. Indeed, while I went for the visa interview, upon the interactions I had with some couple of people, I was told that with that of Ghana, you spend very few minutes over there with the visa interview, and that's when they decide whether you'll be approved or your visa will be denied. But when you go to where I went at Abidjan, you are given a lengthy time to say whatever you want to say and to justify yourself.
Wow.
So indeed, there's a place that justification is very, very important, because you have to really go the extra mile and convince the visa officer why you must be given the visa, because the time you want, you would be given. Because per my visa interview, if I could remember, I spent almost close to 10 minutes in front of the visa officer.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, we will come to like the questions that he asked you and all that. But that is mind blowing. 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Guys, I know for us, like, it's like within less than 2 minutes. And with the video that I posted, which I will link there, I'll link it up here in the cards or down in the description box. All of us got our visas approved like less than 2 minutes. I can't imagine myself standing in front of a consular like talking for 10 minutes. That is very interesting.
Yeah, because in Abidjan, the number of people who go for the visa interview are very few.
Oh, okay.
Because at the 1 o'clock session, those of us who went were about 6.
6 people?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, we were 6. The 1 o'clock session, we were 6. So
they had ample time for you to.
Wow. Ample time. They have ample time for you. They have ample time to go through your documents. For example, when I went for the visa interview, there were two visa officer VOs there. So one was in charge of your documentation. So what she does is that when she takes all the documents you bring, she will go through the documents one after the other, and when she finishes, she will take all of them to the one who will be conducting the interview, and so they will do some 1 or 2 discussions before you are called to come. So when you are called to come, most of the questions that will be asked are based on the documents that you presented here to them. And I also took a lot of documents there. So based on the documents I presented, they schooled me on the documents I presented to them. So that is what is actually done. But when I also listen to other people from other places, they say that they spend really less amount of time. But in Abidjan, the story is different. But giving ample time, they really school you to really see that you have the understanding and also enough information about what you intend doing.
Wow, that's very interesting. About when you were in front of the consular, what are some of the questions, if you remember, what are some of the questions that were asked, and how did you go about it? Like saying that you spent 10 minutes. Maybe you can also take us through the documents that you sent, because I can see that
when I was preparing for the interview, I actually categorized my documents. So it's an advice that I'll give to everyone. I have what I call the embassy documents, the school documents, and your personal certificate and personal document. So with the embassy document, I had my I-20 in there. I had my service form over there, and I had my the receipt that showed that I have indeed paid for my visa fee over there. Yeah, so I had my service and I had my DS-160. Very, very, very important. I had my DS-160 there. So and then my passport too as well. So my passport, my DS-160, my I-20, and my service form too. So I placed that one aside. Then I came to my school documents. So with my school documents too, I had my admission letter, I had my funding letter, that is my GTA letter. Then I also had my copy of my registration, because at that time classes had started. So I had to also prove to the view that indeed I've started classes. So I printed my registration and I added that one to it. Then I also added an email from my advisor on an extension and some other communique that was necessary to prove to them that indeed I've been given an extension to also come. So, and the other one, my academic certificates. I had my transcripts, my academic certificates, and any other document which is relevant to me. I also added that one to it. So I went in front of the visa officer. So when I went to the visa officer, the first question, so we were made to sit down. At that time, I saw that there were some arena over there, but the arena were closed. So I thought maybe it was a session whereby we would be asked to go to a different place for the interview. I didn't know that was the hall for the interview.
Wow.
So I was seated over there. So before I realized, I saw that they started lifting. It was like they started lifting things, and I saw that the visa officer was there, and the other one to join me. And I said, wow, today is the day of decider whether indeed I would go to Montana State University or not. So the first person went, she was denied.
Whoa.
So when I sat down, the second person went, the person was denied. The third person went, denied. So I was the sixth person. So at that time I started shivering because I didn't know what to do. So I asked myself, if all this, because before I was called, it took about 15 minutes because I didn't know they were having some discussions here and there. So before I realized I was called. So when I went to the visa officer, the first question, why Montana State University? Yeah, why Montana State University? Why Montana State? So One of the things that I also told myself that I was not going to give internet answers, but I was also going to give answers that are in line with my vision. I'm a professional teacher. Unfortunately for me, before coming to the United States, I had introduced the new curriculum, which would to them to serve as a panacea for developing Ghana's educational system. So I told myself then I would leverage on that particular one to also build my story from there. So I told the visa officer that I want to go to Montana State University because Montana State University has one of the finest lecturers in the area of curriculum implementation and design. So they have experts. Since the 21st century curriculum is based on STEM education and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I mentioned some of the faculty members who have an inclination to that particular area, and they are experts in the area of robotic science, laser engraving, and all those. So in this particular area, you would be trained in a way that you'll be able to align yourself with the 21st century curriculum development to make sure that STEM education is really grounded in Ghana. And I also told them that Montana State University has a program for rural education development, whereby teachers are trained for rural education. So if you are trained in rural education, since Ghana has a lot of rural areas, how would we use this particular knowledge to also transform Ghana's educational sector in the rural areas? How the curriculum can be structured in order to benefit not only those in the urban centers, but those in the rural areas too. So these are some of the these are some of the things I said. I said more, but these two. So it's like these particular answers are not internet answers.
Yes.
I didn't go there. It's a world-class university, and I also talk about their research expenditure. One particular thing people must take note is that when you talk about research, example, when you go to Ivory Coast, you must be ready to justify your research. Because that place, when you mention research, most of the people there, I'm sure they are research inclined. So they try to probe into your research. So for example, Montana State University is an R1 university that is research oriented, and they spend a lot of money in research. And she asked me, okay, so what is your research goal? Have you thought about any research you want to do? So at that moment, you must be able to think on your feet. If you don't have one, you should be able to say something. So research is Ghana's new curriculum and the 21st century education. Is it really in line, and can it really help to shape STEM education in Ghana? So okay, then she asked of my advisor, and I told her of my advisor. And the second question she asked me about why I want to study curriculum and instructions, and what do I want to do with it. So I also told her that I'm a professional teacher who has been teaching for almost 7 years. Yeah, and I want to study that program to be a curriculum expert. When I go to Montana State University, which is a school that is good in the area of curriculum design, I'll be able to learn much more in assessment and evaluation, curriculum designing, and also advanced psychological education that can help to mold and shape Ghanaian students. So I come by my funding issue, and I told her, she actually said, I see that you have a great funding, so tell me more about the funding. And I told her about the funding, and she was very impressed with the funding too, that the funding is very, very good. The funding is very, very good. So the school has really given me a lot of funding, so I should go study, do my best, and come back to help Ghana as I want to also do. And one other thing she also asked, what is my preparation? So who is going to pay for my airline ticket? How am I preparing for my trip to the United States of America. What plans have I put in place? Then she also said the state of Montana is a very cold area, so I should make sure that I really get a lot of winter jackets and prepare very well before I set off. Then one other question: why didn't I go for my visa interview
in Ghana?
Ooh,
interesting.
Yeah. You see, before I went for the visa interview, there was one particular gentleman who had a PhD admission in one of the Arizona State University, told me that when he was denied, he actually has everything full fund. He was denied, but he told that to him, he realized that his denial was based on two things. One, why he didn't conduct his visa interview in Ghana, and secondly, why he didn't have a national service certificate, because the people in the queue were talking about after my national service, and when it got to his turn, he had no national service because he went to school in Russia and came back. So he told me that I should really prepare a very good answer
for why Cote d'Ivoire,
not Ghana. If I go and mention the issue about date, he said those people who told the VU that they didn't get a favorable date in Ghana, that's why they are coming to Cote d'Ivoire, were denied. And they were told to go to Ghana
and go and do it.
Because dates will be released very soon, so I should make sure that I don't mention anything about dates. So that particular, so don't go and talk about dates.
Yes.
Over there, because they will tell you dates are released
in Ghana
anytime, so just be monitoring.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's very insightful, and guys, I hope you are learning and jotting down some tips that he's saying. I know some people are also planning on going to Cote d'Ivoire, any other country, Sierra Leone, and other countries. So just know that it is not going to be easy. It's going to be as tough as it is in Ghana. Thank you very much, Sammy, for sharing what you went through. Is there like any last thing that you'd like to tell other people that are on this journey through this era and season of trial? I guess.
Yeah, my word of motivation. I wouldn't say about my word of motivation to those who are aspiring to come to school. The little I have to tell them is that they should keep on. And those new ones too who are now trying to go for their visa interviews, I would say prepare very well. Make sure you're on top of your issue. And as I say, everyone's story is different from the other. So make sure that your story is different from another person. Thank you
very much, guys. So I hope you like this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you do. Comment below if you have any question. And with that said, if you are not subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you'll be notified anytime that I post a new video. So with that said, we are signing out, and cheers until next time. Bye.